All right, so on our do now, we had to solve each problem and use the check step below to see if it's correct. So you are going to have to do this with one of the problems on the quiz. You really need to know how to do this. So first of all, to solve this equation, we move the smaller of the numbers in front of the x over to the other one. So 12 is smaller, so I subtract it over. And I get 4 equals 5x plus 24. We want to get the x alone, so we subtract 24 from both sides. And we get negative 20 equals 5x. Divide by 5. And I get x equals negative 4. All right, that's my answer. Let's see if I'm right using my check step. So I write check step. And I write 12 times negative 4 plus 4 has to equal 17 times negative 4 plus 24. So 12 times negative 4 is negative 48 plus 4 has to equal, this is negative 68 plus 24. This side comes out to negative 44, and so does this side, so I am correct. If you did this and at the end got an answer that was not negative 44 equals negative 44. If it was negative 44 equals, let's say, negative 45, it is not right. Both sides must be equal to each other. I'll show you another example. You first combine your like terms. So this becomes 3x plus 10 equals 5x plus 2. Subtract 3x because 3 is the smaller of the two. And we get 10 equals 2x plus 2. Then I can subtract over the 2. So we want to get x alone, and I get 8 equals 2x. Then divide by 2, and I get x is 4. So if x is 4, we're going to plug that in to see if it works. So 6 times 4 minus 3 times 4 plus 10 has to equal 5 times 4 plus 2. So 24 minus 12 plus 10 has to equal 20 plus 2. 24 minus 12 is 12, plus 10 is 22, and this side's 22 as well. So my answer is right. So this is just the check step. It's not saying your answer is 22. This is not saying your answer is negative 44. It's saying these two are your answers, and they do work. Let's take a look at some fractions because sometimes we struggle with them a little bit. So if I distribute this in, 18 divided by 6 is 3. We have the negative, so it's be negative 3. Negative 6 divided by negative 6 is 1, so plus x equals, this becomes 2x. This becomes minus 3 minus x. So let's combine everything we can on the right. Negative 3 plus x equals 2x minus x is x plus 3. Subtract the x from both sides. They both cancel out. This should be a plus 3. That's why I was confused. Minus 3, excuse me, minus 3. They cross out, and we get negative 3 equals negative 3. Negative 3 will always equal negative 3, so we get infinite solutions. So it's important that when our x values cancel out and we get the same number on both sides as infinite solutions. No solution would be if we got like negative 3 equals 4. That does not make sense, so it would be no solution. So make sure you remember those. You will see problems like this on your quiz. Let's distribute this in. 30 divided by 3 is 10. Negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. 25 divided by 5 equals 5. Negative 10 divided by 5 is negative 2. Add 3x to both sides, and I get 8x. Add 2 to both sides. Divide by 8. I get x equals 12 eighths. And if I simplify that, that becomes divided by 4, 3/2. So make sure you simplify. You always want to simplify. All right. So the next problem, 16 divided by 4 is 4x. 20 divided by 4 is 5, equals negative 2x plus 3. Add 2x to both sides, we get 6x. Subtract 5, 6x equals negative 2. Divided by 6, you must simplify. So we get x equals negative 1/3. So it's very important that we are simplifying. You will get points deducted on your quiz if you are not simplifying properly. So make sure you use your simplification. All right. I'm going to move on to the in-class review we did. So we have problem 1 here. So we distribute in. 8 times 1 is 8. Negative 14 times 8 is negative 112x minus 3x, and it's still equal to negative 452. All right, combine, we get negative 115x negative 452. Subtract 8 from both sides, we get negative 460 equals negative 115x. Divide negative 460 by negative 115, and I get x is 4. Could look at number 2 now. Distribute. 3 times 7 is 21x. 3 times negative 4. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 equals 282. Add 12 to both sides. I get 21x equals 294. Use your calculator. 294 divided by 21 gives me x is 14. For problem 3 now, distribute. So negative x stays, minus 12x plus 24 equals negative 145. Combine on the left, negative x and negative 12x is negative 13x plus 24 equals negative 145 minus 24. Negative 13x equals negative 169. Divide that by negative 13, and I get x equals 13. Next problem. Act like this is a negative 1 on the outside. Same thing as negative 1. So we distribute it in, it makes all the signs different. So 4x minus 3x minus 7 equals negative 14 plus 8x. Keeps this the same on the right so far. Combine on the left. Negative 4x minus 3x is x minus 7 equals negative 14 plus 8x. X is smallest, so we subtract it over. We get negative 7 equals negative 14 plus 7x. Add 14. We get 7 equals 7x, so our x is 1. All right, distribute over here. This becomes 4x plus 24 plus 3 equals our 2x plus 27. 24 plus 3 is 27 plus 4x equals 27 plus 2x. Subtract 2x from both sides. We get 27 equals 2x plus 27. Subtract 27 from both sides, we get 0 equals 2x. Divide by 2, or x equals 0. So you can get x equals 0. It's okay if our constant terms, that means the numbers without the variables, cancel out and leave you a 0. You just can't have that happen when it is the variables canceling out. And you'll see that in an example coming up. Then we have 2 plus 5 times 6 is 30 minus 30x equals negative 40 minus 6x. Combine on this side, we get 32 minus 30x equals negative 40 minus 6x. Add 30x to both sides. We get 32 equals negative 40 plus 24x. Add 40 over. We get 72 equals 24x. So divide by 24. We get x equals 3. For this problem, we have a 1/2. So this is where I showed you before. You have to distribute the 1/2 in. So when I distribute that in, I get 3x plus 5 equals 2x plus 7. So subtract the 2x. I get x plus 5 equals 7. Subtract 5 over, I get x equals negative 2. For the next problem, I don't know why the 3 keeps popping up. For the next problem, this is just one of our more similar, simple problems. So we combine on the right side, so negative 16 plus 1 is negative 15x equals negative 38 minus 17x. Negative 17x is smaller, so we add it to both sides. And we get negative 38 equals positive 2x. I just put the positive because I accidentally did the negative. So we get negative 38 divided by 2 equals negative 19. For this problem, we combine what we can on the right. So 1 plus 13 is 14 plus 12x equals 8x plus 34. So we subtract 8x from both sides, and we get 4x. We have the 14 still here, equals 34. Subtract 14, and we get 4x equals 20, so x equals 5. This problem, we get negative 4 times negative 2, which is 8x. Negative 4 times negative 5 is 20, plus 20, equals negative 4 times negative 4, which is 16, plus 4x. So subtract 4x from both sides, because that's the smaller. We get 4x plus 20 equals 16. Subtract 20 on both sides. I get 4x equals negative 4, so x is negative 1. Distribute over here, so 10x plus 6 equals 10x plus 35. Subtract 10x from both sides, and they cancel out. So we get 6 equals 35. 6 does not equal 35, and it never will, so we have no solution. Distribute in. Negative 4 minus 24x equals negative 3x minus 20x minus 15. So negative 4 minus 24x minus 23 equals negative 23x minus 15. Add 24x to both sides. And I get negative 4 equals x minus 15. Add 15. And you get x equals 11. Next problem. I get negative 7x minus 28 equals negative 3 minus 1 minus 4x, because remember, this is the same thing as negative 1 on the outside. So this becomes negative 4 because you combine your like terms, minus 4x equals negative 7x minus 28. Negative 7x is smaller, so we're going to add it over. So we get negative 28 equals negative 4 plus 3x. Add 4 to both sides. Negative 24 equals 3x. Oop, got excited about the answer. Equals 3x. So our x is negative 8. All right, 12x minus 6 equals 6x minus 36. Subtract 6x from both sides, and I get 6x minus 6 equals negative 36. Add 6 to both sides, I get 6x equals negative 30, so x is negative 5. So I'm going to do one more problem. All right, so for this problem, we will distribute, so we get 2x minus 8x plus 24 equals negative 3x plus 9 minus 3. Then we do everything on the left, so 2x minus 8x is negative 6x plus 24. Do everything on the right, we get plus 6. Add the 6x over, and we get 24 equals 3x plus 6. Subtract 6 from both sides. We get 18 equals 3x. Divide by 3, we get x is 6. So I just want to do that problem to show you a little bit of a harder one, just in case we're practicing that. And then finally, I want to do this one, where we do 6 minus, this is imaginary 1, so everything becomes the opposite side inside of the parentheses, and it still equals everything on the right. Combine like terms, we get 13 plus 5x equals 13 plus 5x. Right there, we can see it's infinite solutions because it's the same thing equaling the same thing. But if we subtract 5x from both sides, they both cancel out when we get 13 equals 13. Whenever it equals the same number, it is infinite solutions. So I will post this PowerPoint on Classroom. If you have any questions on any of the other ones, feel free to email me and I can give you the answers. I can give you an answer key for it, and email with any other questions.